There's no better time than right now in January 2023 to be spring cleaning your personal finance for the entire year and set yourself up for success. In this 4-part series, we're going to be spring cleaning our personal finances, and today's video we're going to be talking on the topic of emergency funds. For those of you who have not built it, how to build it, and also after you've built it, how to allocate it to earn you the maximum interest rates possible. Let's get straight into the video. I'll be sharing my personal strategy and allocations as well, so stay up until the end and I'll share with you mine. The common rule of thumb is that 3 to 6 months of your income or your expenses you are supposed to be saving for your emergency funds. I personally do 6 months of my income because it's a larger amount and I want to prepare for any rainy days. Emergency funds are used for in scenarios when something happens and you need to fork out a huge amount, or let's say you get retrenched and you do not have a job lined up ready for you to receive another income from your next employer. These emergency funds is to last you for the next 6 months or 1 year to find a job and restart all over again. That is the purpose of an emergency fund. If you have not started building your emergency funds, it is not too late. You can always start today. And by watching this video, you are half step over there already. For those of you who find it difficult to save, I would recommend you keeping it into 2 separate savings accounts. What I did in the past when I was younger was that I had 2 separate accounts. One of it, I will automate a transaction to transfer every single month after I receive an income to this account that I use to save for my emergency funds every single month. And that built up the funds over time, which I do not look at. I do not have the debit card to spend on it as well. And if you are thinking having 2 separate accounts will not maximize the interest rates you'll be earning on those amounts, first of all, do not worry about the interest rate, because if you are already struggling to save every single month, you shouldn't be worrying about the extra interest income. However, I can post to you guys 3 accounts that you can look at, which gives you not too bad of an interest rates that you can actually use to keep your emergency funds into. You can take a look at Trust Bank, which gives you 1.5% per annum on the amount that you keep with the bank, no strings attached, 1.5% per annum, and also Singlife. Singlife also gives you 1.5% per annum, no strings attached as well. However, take note that Singlife is an insurance savings plan. It works the same as a deposit savings account. The next bank that actually gives you highest interest rate, however, there's a requirement. You need to be 18 to 26 years old, and this bank is Standard Chartered. Standard Chartered Jumpstart account, I have a video on that. I'll link it up above and also down below. It is an account that lets you earn 2% on the amount that you keep with them. No strings attached, no spending requirement. Set it, forget about it, and you'll be earning a rough range of 1.5% to 2% depending on the bank that you choose. These are my 3 recommendations. If you are struggling to save, set up 2 different savings accounts so that you can actually save up for that. The saying goes is set it and forget about it. Save it up for the rainy days ahead, because your future self will thank you when something actually happens. And in my previous video, I mentioned about how I actually had a sum of money set aside to use whenever situation occurs, and it did. When I was overseas in Jeju, I spoiled my laptop and I spilled water over it. I had to buy a new laptop on the spot immediately, and I had to fork out $1,700 upfront. You might say it's not a huge amount, but to me it is. And by having my emergency funds readily available, it allowed me to not be so stressed out over it. That is the importance of having an emergency fund, which is why you should be saving up for that. And it's not too late to start today. If you are using OCBC to save, you can even set up goals in the app to save for your emergency funds. Let me show you how it looks like. So go into your OCBC 360, browse all the way down, and you can see this savings goal where you can create the goal and you'll be able to choose what kind of goals you want to create. So let's say we create an emergency fund. The goal amount is at 15,000. The deposit account will be the savings account you want to fund this goal, and then choose the date that you want this to be fulfilled. Let's say February 2024, and they will calculate how much do you have to put in every single month. And on the specific date that you have set the amount to be deducted from your savings account, your goal will be funded. And this is a good way to be able to fund your emergency funds with a goal in mind using the OCBC banking app. Now that we've talked about how to actually set up the transactions to save and build up your emergency funds to the maximum, whether it is 3 or 6 months of your income or expenses, I want to talk about allocating your emergency funds, because saving up 3 to 6 months of your income or expenses is not going to be a small sum, which is why you still want to be able to maximize the interest that you'll be receiving on your emergency funds where possible. Keep in mind that emergency funds are meant to be liquid or semi-liquid, and what it means to be liquid or semi-liquid is that you will be able to get access to the funds immediately, if not almost immediately. Liquid would mean that you keep it in a savings account and you'll be able to withdraw it today. If you keep into a semi-liquid asset, it will mean that you will be able to cash out within a matter of days, and you will be getting that amount back in total. As compared to when you invest into the stock market, you will be subjected to market fluctuations. If it decreases and you needed that amount today, when you cash out, the amount that you'll be getting is not the full sum that you have invested into. So keep in mind, your emergency funds are meant to be liquid or semi-liquid. And now let's go into my allocation and you will get a clearer picture of what I mean. Let's go. As I mentioned earlier, I personally keep about 6 months of my income for emergency funds, and that will amount up to 17 to 18,000. I'm going to share with you very personally my own strategy. It is not financial advice. 50% goes into a savings account, and it is the OCBC 360. I use that to save and also spend with because I am able to control my expenditures, and you'll get me 3.25%. As I mentioned earlier, for those of you who cannot and you are just starting out to build your emergency funds, forgo the interest, go and just build your emergency funds first, and next time when you do get the habit of tracking your finances, etc., being in control of your finances, then lump it all together in a high interest savings account. 50% of it goes to OCBC 360 at 3.25%. Another 50% of it, I actually invested it into the Singapore Savings Bond. Singapore Savings Bond is an instrument by the government. It is almost 100% safe because unless the Singapore government collapses, nothing is going to happen to your Singapore Savings Bond. When I mentioned about allocating part of your emergency funds into the Singapore Savings Bond, it is also because at a point of redemption, it is also equals to $1 and the price doesn't fluctuate. Any point in time during the period of 10 years, you want to redeem your Singapore Savings Bond, you are getting back your principal plus the interest. That is my take on it. I have a video, a full beginner's guide on how to invest into the Singapore Savings Bond up above and also down below. It is a video that I've done up a month ago when I was still in Korea. It was when the interest rates was very high for the Singapore Savings Bond, roughly about 3%. Some of it included above 3.5%. That was my allocation. I've been buying into the Singapore Savings Bond. If you do want to redeem the Singapore Savings Bond, it's very easy as well. I actually redeemed the August Singapore Savings Bond because the interest rates was only at 2.7% over a period of 10 years. Instead of getting that 2.7%, I decided to take out that $2,000 and keep it in the OCBC 360 where it gives me 3.25%. Singapore Savings Bond is semi-liquid, I would say, because you need roughly about a few working days to be able to get back the amount depending on the month you do your redemption. How it works is that Singapore Savings Bond, if you do your redemption on the 1st of the month, only in the next month, the 2nd working day, will you be able to get your amount back. So that is a period of 1 month. And if you need the funds immediately, you will not be able to get access to that funds, which is why I would say emergency funds need to be liquid. I wouldn't need $10,000 upfront today unless something big happens and I ended up in the hospital, but then again, I do have hospital insurance and I don't think in any other scenarios would I need that huge amount of cash. That is why I actually keep it in Singapore Savings Bond. However, as I mentioned, if you're not comfortable, don't do it. Keep all of it in a savings account, nothing wrong with that as well. If you're only earning a little bit extra, it doesn't make much of a difference. You shouldn't be using your emergency funds for investments into stocks, into the S&P 500 index fund, because you're subjected to market fluctuations. I have a video, a beginner's guide on the investing journey that I embarked on a few weeks ago. I invested into the S&P 500 index using SafeTrade. If you're interested in investing, refer to that video up above and also down below. For your emergency funds, please do not use that to invest. Investments are a separate amount and a separate account that you should be having. It is not the same as your emergency funds because emergency funds, as the name says, it is for emergencies only. An investment into the stock market is not an emergency. I have done up a PDF guide on emergency funds for you to download down in the description box for those of you who prefer reading something and having more numbers and figures calculated for you, and also sample of my own allocations, how much did I put and where did I put. I have this PDF guide available for free for you guys to download in the description box link below. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below and I'll be glad to answer your questions. If not, you can DM me on Instagram. So that's all I have for today. If you know of someone who would benefit from watching this video, share it with them. This is part 1 of the spring cleaning process for our personal finances for 2023. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.